My name is Bethany DeBlay, and I want to welcome you to the first video blog or video cast with Grand Rapids Trauma Counseling. And my hope is that this series of videos that are created here will be helpful in two ways. One, in that they will hopefully offer you some information or a way of understanding experiences that are common. And two, that you will find some skills that will help you or support you as you manage discomfort or upset in your daily life. So today, what I'd like to start with is the idea of microaggressions, which is something that I really have been reflecting on this week in light of Martin Luther King's birthday and conversations and readings that I was a part of due to that holiday. And so I'm going to break this video into two parts. And for this first part, what I want to talk about is just the experience of microaggressions and how that leads to what one of my favorite professors in trauma describes as cloud trauma, which is this experience of trauma. At least that's how the brain and body receive those experiences, but it's not like a specific event that you can necessarily say, on this day I was at this place and I was assaulted in this way. It's more a continual experience of being unsafe. And a lot of that unsafety, that experience or that feeling comes in these forms of microaggressions, which are these little events. That's where that micro comes from, which come at us or the person who is the other in the circle, and attack or break down, or again, just lead to this feeling of unsafety. A lot of times they're unseen by the majority or the person who has the power or privilege in that circumstance, but they're certainly felt, even if it's on an unconscious level, although I think often it is conscious. They're certainly felt by the person. So those of us who might be experiencing microaggressions or living in this cloud trauma, again, would be anyone who walks into the world as an other. And this can be varied depending on the circumstances or environment, right? It certainly would be a person of color, certainly would be women or anyone who is part of the trans community, could be someone who is differently abled, someone who is newly arrived here in the U.S., an immigrant or part of the refugee community. Certainly could be based on your religious preference. Any circumstance where you're walking in and you are the minority, the group would identify you sort of as other, you don't quite fit in, you don't have a sense of belonging. And then on top of that, there's also this experience of microaggression, this experience of unsafety, of feeling unsafe. And this is really what creates that cloud trauma, is that experience of being unsafe. Right? So the body is going to respond to that attack or to that unsettled experience in a couple ways. And there are the ways we respond when our safety is threatened, when we are under threat. Our survival is under threat. So it might be the experience of very heightened awareness, a sense of being alert. Could really be that experience of being anxious, highly anxious. You might even have a really palpable sense of fear. It's possible. It's that sense of being kind of on the lookout, and you're almost waiting for that microaggression or that attack to come your way. Who's going to say that thing that makes me feel lesser, that makes me feel outside, that makes me feel unsafe. It could also be that in order to manage this constant sense of feeling unsafety, that your body goes into sort of a shutdown. That shell, in order to defend against this constant experience of not belonging, of being made to feel other, being made to feel less than, that you have to put up some sort of wall in order to protect yourself. Both experiences require energy. Okay, sometimes we think that shutting down is almost like the sleepy thing, it's like, haha, but it's not. Think about the brake pedal and the gas pedal in a car. They both take force and energy and gas in order to turn on. So both are exhausting to our systems. And that is, I think, a common experience or comment of someone who does experience this cloud trauma or these daily microaggressions, is the experience of fatigue. Whether it's because your body is like this and you are feeling a lot of anxiety and you're having a lot of maybe headaches or stomach aches or just regular sense of shakiness, or whether it is that energy that you're putting into your body to kind of shut down and hunker down and stay inside and not let anybody, kind of defend against people getting in. Both are exhausting. And so what I'm going to do in the next video is talk about what are some ways that we mitigate that exhaustion. What are some ways that we support ourselves when we are walking through circumstances like this?